before you go on, but that's a fantastic point, because people say to me, can you turn a hoe into a housewife? And I say, listen, I wouldn't want to. I bet I fucking could. There ain't a woman alive who's going to cheat on me. With who? With who? With who? Who's she going to cheat on me with? Fucking the guy in Starbucks? Mr. KFC? No. She's with the top G. She's got all the clout. She's with the boss. She's in the 5-star in the Italian Alps. She's on the Gulf Stream. She's in the Bugatti. Everyone's jealous of her. Who the fuck is she going to cheat with? Nobody. There's not a girl alive I couldn't get loyalty from. Now, would I ever want to do it? Probably not. I like the idea of exclusivity. But once you get to a certain level, yeah. If you're that guy, you're that guy.
Let me ask you a question. There's somebody that's single right now. You think you can turn her into being exclusive to you? Her name is Kim Kardashian. How about you? She's watching.
I wouldn't do that to Yeezy. I wouldn't do it to her. I wouldn't do it to him.
Okay.
I'm
he's
sorry.
married now.
No, but you know what? This is actually another.
But by the way, I love what you just said right now.
But I wouldn't.
I love what you just said right now. We were having a conversation the other day about the relationship with men, how it's supposed to be the men relationship. Just the fact, like I had a friend of mine, her ex, dropped it gorgeous. Like when I tell you dropped it, I mean dropped it gorgeous. And everybody loved her. And I could look at her and say, you're dying. Yeah. Her and her boyfriend broke up. 3 years they were together. I get out, all she wants to do is talk to me. We're hanging out. Hey, how about this? How about that? I said, listen, there's no way you and I could ever be together. No way. Because you dated the guy that was my best friend. Yeah. I like you a lot. You're beautiful. You're going to find somebody. It's just not going to be you.
100%.
And she went a different direction. But that right there is the values that must be taught.
100%.
Because I think the same way we have to teach the values of what it is to be running mates. Men, hey man, if you're in my circle, that's the expectation. But it's the same way that you have to also, lead your women to say, if this is going to be a relationship, here's the standard as well.
100%. And you know what? Maybe I'm getting a little bit sentimental in my old age.
Here we go.
But I am. Let's say I meet a girl, right? And she's 23, 24. And she's been with a guy for 6 or 7 years. And he loves her with all his heart. And she's talking to me. Part of me feels bad. I'm like, this is just like shooting fish in a barrel. This isn't even fair. This guy's going to be heartbroken, man. He's going to be devastated when he realizes she's with me. It's going to hurt him, because he's going to know there is no chance at all. No matter what he types in that text, it's done. And I actually feel bad. And I'll say to chicks, you know what? If you break up with him properly, leave it a while. I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, not while you're still kind of talking to him. No, I feel bad. It's too easy. I feel bad. So when I say I wouldn't do it to Kanye, I actually mean that. Pussy is not worth me. Her. I don't even know him, but just like he loved her a lot, I'd feel bad. I just couldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. I can't
explain. Showing the soft side, Tate.
I just wouldn't do it. But it's also an interesting point you say about friends. That's super interesting. I could leave any of my girls with my friends for 20 years in a jail cell, and they would never touch her. I know it. And I do believe that birds of a feather flock together. And when I've had a lot of guys email me as well, and they say, hey man, my friend slept with my girlfriend. I don't know what to do about it. And I will say, that's because you're a bitch. You're a bitch. And I'll tell you why you're a bitch, because you're rolling with bitches, which means you must be one. Because I'll tell you what, none of my friends, nobody on my team would ever do that to me, ever. If me and my girl split up, she is gone, she is done. They would never touch her in a million years, because that's the quality of man I roll with, because that's the quality of man I am. You become a better man, you'll get better friends, and this shit won't happen to you. If your own friends are snaking you for pussy, you're probably the kind of guy who snakes your own friends for pussy. So I blame you. It's your fault.
I saw a clip the other day. You know who Shannon Sharp is? Shannon Sharp. I saw a clip from Shannon Sharp the other day. He said he found the love of his life. She was married. He paid for her to get a divorce from him because he knew that was his. That's such a weird angle. Wow. I don't know if you heard what I just said. Yep. So you're married. Oh, you're mine. I'm going to pay you to go divorce your guy to be with me. What do you think is going to happen later on to you when another opportunity arises? But again, social media is so open with influence that a boy or a man at the wrong time can see a message like that, thinking that's what it is to be a man. And as a person that's got a lot of influence, some of these things need to be unpacked. Let's go to the last message here. Sure. So Mel Gibson just recently announced that he's doing a 4-part documentary on the $32 billion pedophilia business. I don't know if you saw this or not.
I did, yeah.
This just came out yesterday. And we talked about BBC earlier. you know, and BBC and Philip Schofield and ITV and all these guys. And they had another guy back in the days, Jimmy Savile, you know, who there's a documentary on him. That guy's darker than a lot of these guys. And they knew and they kept them for a long time. And stories have been out there. Woody Allen, we talked about Woody Allen. We talked about a lot of different guys. And Woody Allen married the stepdaughter when she was 5, 6, 7 years old, ends up marrying her. And says, hey, you know, he's one of the greatest such and such of all time. And that whole industry of what it's doing. Some will say, well, you know, it's not really as real as people think it is. Some will say it is. Some will say, well, this whole movement is because of that, you know, LGBTQ, that's taking place with kids, and it's a next step of what we're going to next. What are your thoughts with the topic of pedophilia?
Yeah. Okay. Firstly, I would never kill myself. That's the first thing. Jesus. Right.
I'm giving you easy questions. No, it's a soft topic. It's not like a heavy topic.
No, but it's true. But that's the final line of morality they're trying to pierce. Like I said, I have no problem with gay people. And then we talked about LGBTQ and how they're trying to mix it all together and take people who are on the extreme end of the spectrum with people who live fairly normal lives. You can be a gay person. This is another thing I want to make clear. You can be a gay person and live a very normal life. You can also be a gay person and be a degenerate. Deciding to get naked in front of children has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. That's just the fact that you're a degenerate person. It doesn't matter if you sleep with a man or a woman. The fact that you want to go and walk around naked in front of kids is degenerate behavior, regardless of sexual orientation. It has nothing to do with it. It's only accepted if you're homosexual. If you're a heterosexual, it's a crime. For some reason, if it's a homosexual, it's not a crime, but it's the same act and it's degenerate. It's the final line. The final line is children. It's the final line of sexual morality that they're trying to attack. They've attacked every other line. It's the final line they're trying to pierce. And I think a lot of this pedophilia comes down to, control. So yeah, what Mel Gibson is doing is super interesting. It's super interesting that he's attacking the most liberal establishment on the planet. Super interesting that he's attacking Hollywood, which is obviously the heart of the liberal propaganda machine. And he's saying they're the worst people on earth. And I sit and say, well, if you take these people outside of Hollywood, would they matter? This is a really interesting point. You can actually apply this to nearly any job. If you took you away from your sales job, or took me away from my role, or you away from, let's say you had a sales job at a specific company, you would still be a good communicator. You'd still know how to speak. You'd still have charisma. You'd still be a man of status. You'd still know how to walk. You still have a presence. You still know how to behave, right? There are certain people in certain establishments where if you strip them of their title, they're nothing. If you took Harvey Weinstein away, or Weinstein, whatever his name is, away from Hollywood, he's just a fat, old, ugly dork. That's all he is. He's only something because of Hollywood. Outside of that, he's nothing. These are the people who end up using their influence in whatever sphere they're in to do negative things, because outside of it, they ain't shit. If you're a real G, if you're a real man, if I was in Hollywood, I was a real man, I wouldn't have to use Hollywood to get girls. I'm fine. I think a lot of this stuff is run. I think a lot of these people who are doing these things are just not very good or very impressive people. You may be a big shot in Hollywood. Delete that from your resume. Who are you? Oh, you ain't shit. Sit down and talk to these people. What have you even done with your life? You ain't shit. You made it to the top of Hollywood by what? Who even knows how you got there? Wink, wink. You got there through whatever. So I think that's what a lot of this stuff is. And going back, everything we've been saying so far. Andrew, how do you solve pedophilia? I think if a man has a healthy sexual relationship with women and has options and feels respected by women and enjoys the company of women and women like him and admire him and look up to him, he will have no desire to go down the route of sexual perversion and chase children. I don't think he ever would. Why would he? Right? What my cousin said was only a joke. But sometimes there's a degree of truth in the humor. He's a young, good-looking black guy on the football team. He gets girls. Why would he do this dumb shit? When you see some fat, overweight video game loser, they're the ones on the TV doing it. So once again, like nearly any problem on earth, whether it's pedophilia, whether it's school shooting, whether it's men's mental health, whether it's women's mental health, whether it's female promiscuity, no matter what it is, whether it's crime, no matter what it is, how do you fix the problem? By building men of caliber, by building men of capability and status and honor and dignity, and by building men of ability to be good standing citizens who are respected by their peers. All of it comes back to improving men. All of it. Every single problem you can possibly name, even pedophilia, comes back to building strong men of capability who are respected. That's all. It's the baseline of humanity. Men always has been the baseline of humanity. And that's why nearly every problem we can name, whether it's pedophilia, whether it's anything else, school shooting, whatever, all of them are in a direct negative correlation with masculinity. As masculinity plummets, all this garbage is going up through the roof. Is that a coincidence? Absolutely not, really not. It's you can literally see it with a graph, and you can see it happening. Saving the way men think and operate, growing a new generation of men who understand they have duty to themselves, their last name, and God, literally saves the world. All of it. And I'm telling you, the reason this Hollywood garbage happens is because outside of Hollywood, none of them people are mildly impressive in any regard. And that's why they have to do the disgusting, heinous things they do. And that's why they're going to attack me and pretend I'm a fucking predator and that I'm the bad guy and that I'm dangerous to women. When truly, people like Philip Schofield are the ones who are doing it, but they're part of the club. And that's what actually upsets me, truthfully. I'm a difficult man to affect. And I understand that I'm in the middle of a war here, and I understand that one way or another, with God on my side, I will win. But it is extremely frustrating to have people who commit X crime with impunity accuse you of X crime. That's a very uniquely annoying scenario. When somebody who does something themselves accuses you of it when you're innocent.
Not allegedly. They've been caught.
And they accuse you of it.
Big difference.
And then they sit there and go, it's a terrible thing to do. You do it. All of these liberals and elites attacking me do it. And I don't. And I'm the one who's sitting in a fucking dungeon for it. It's insane.
What should be the punishment for that?
I think attacking innocence is the most heinous thing you can possibly do.
Did you hear what DeSantis announced?
No.
That's
Children, that's the wrong
I
thing
think
to
absolutely. They're innocent. Attacking innocence is the biggest act of cowardice. It's cowardice. Attacking innocence is the biggest possible act of cowardice. Even, you don't shoot an unarmed man. Even in war, there's the Geneva Convention. There's supposed to be a degree of rule. Someone can't defend themselves. There's no need to hurt them. These people can't defend themselves. Attacking innocence is the most heinous of all crimes. And children are the absolutely most innocent thing on the planet. And I'd like to think that I'm rational enough that not much would drive me to murder, but I know it would happen if someone hurt my children.
Should they be castrated?
I think they should face an extremely heinous punishment. Now, the death penalty is fantastic. I also think, from what I've just been through, and it was only 3 short months, I think a nice long life of solitary confinement would do just fine. I really, truly believe it. And I truly believe that we need to make that clear to the world. But the problem is the world we're living in, the people who are in charge of the world have no obligation or no intention of stopping what's happening. They want to accelerate what's happening. That's what's scary, because they could put punishments in place that would genuinely stop this shit. And I don't think they are. In fact, they're promoting this shit and trying to say that you're born that way. Because when you're born that way, once again, you have no control. It's not your fault. It's not your fault you touched that kid. You were born that way. Not your fault you're fat. You were born that way. Not your fault you're a school shooter. You were born that way. This is why I have a problem with psychologists. Every single time you ask them anything, it's not your fault. It's something else's fault or someone else's fault. And I don't accept that. I accept absolute and utter ruthless personal accountability. Absolutely everything is my fault. Every action I undertake is completely my fault. If I do something wrong, it is my fault and I should be punished for it, me. And that should be implied on every single other man on the planet. And the second we start doing that, dumb shit might stop.
It's a powerful message. We're at the end of it. So if you got anything.
Well, this is going to be more of a lighthearted question to end on a lighter note. But are you
going to ask about who's a better actor, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? Actually, a real question.
That's your question.
So I got a question. Do you like both actors, Pacino or De Niro?
De Niro hates Trump, right?
Yeah.
They both do.
They both do. Oh, they both do?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
So now you got to go on their merit.
Uh-oh. I don't know then. They're both on the wrong team.
Scarface or Goodfellas?
Yeah.
So this is actually a funny question, lighthearted question, but it is about your legacy.
Sure.
I don't know if there's anybody in the world, when I say a country, oh, I'm going to this country, they say, well, you must be going to see Tate.
Yeah.
If I told my mom, we're not supposed to talk about this. Yeah. Hey, Mom, I'm going to Romania. Are you going to see Andrew Tate? If I told that, hey, anybody, I'm going to Romania, they're going to say, oh, you're going to go see Tate. Yeah. That's how synonymous you are with Romania. Yeah. The irony is that Romania is the country that's locked you up. There's one other person that's associated with the country. If I say the country, you know the name, they're not even a real person. And that person is from the country of Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Borat.
Yeah. I say Kazakhstan, you think of Borat. Yeah. Ironically, in a twist of fate, in 2006, when the movie Borat came out, they actually banned the movie. Yeah. They didn't want the people of Kazakhstan to see the movie. Yeah. Because it was
insulting.
A great insult for the people of Kazakhstan. Yeah. Ironically, in 2020, after COVID, it became a global brand, Kazakhstan. Yeah. The tourism board basically created ads and embraced the moniker Kazakhstan, very nice, as a way to drive tourism to Kazakhstan. So in a twist of fate, they banned the movie.
Yeah.
15 years later, they're embracing Borat.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, when you're innocent and you're scot-free,
Yeah.
what will Romania do to make amends for what's happened to you? Will it be Romania? What color is your Bugatti?
Yeah.
What are they going to say?
That's a really good question, because I love this country. I chose to live here. I think that they have done themselves a massive disservice, but I don't think it's Romanians as a whole. 99.9% of Romanians I interact with apologize to me. Every Romanian I see says sorry. Even the police officers who come and check my house arrest apologize to me. There's a select few Romanians who have done irreparable damage to this country, and they're going to have to deal with the consequences of that if they have a conscience at all. Most Romanians understand exactly what's happening and have apologized to me and are good people. I think I did a lot for this country in terms of tourism. I don't think it was mentioned much before me.
Yes.
And truthfully, it is a safe place and it is a beautiful place and you can carve a good life here. But I think they've certainly scared away a lot of high net worth individuals from ever moving here, because they will seize all of their things and throw you in a jail cell. So we'll have to see how they try and recover from the mess they've made. And if the few people who have done this, and it's a small group, are ever going to be held responsible. And if the country of Romania is mature enough, they will understand that it's a very small group of people who have made a very big mess.
Last question. What source of power do you get from this?
This is actually a mudra from power, a mudra for power. I think I'm not sure which yoga or Hindu or something it's from. It is a mudra from power, but my father used to sit and play chess like this. This is how he played chess. So I stole it. I stole it when I would be losing chess games in chess tournaments when I was a kid. I was like, shit, I'm losing. I need power. Shit, let me do like dad. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. But I just adopted it because it was his hand symbol. So I just copied it. And there's a lot of theories online that, it's occultist this and occultist that. I let the conspiracy theories run, but it's far more simple than that. There's lots of pictures of my dad doing it and I copied it. That's all it is.
Respect.